Welcome to our chat about the Westpac graduate program for 2023. We're so excited to kick this off again after a little pause and looking to give you a bit more information about what's going on. So before we normally just had kind of like a large technology graduate program and then also our banking specialist one. And we're starting to expand this. And so at the moment, what we're looking at is consumer banking, agribusiness, marketing, risk, finance, product, so product management, HR and talent acquisition and technology. But that also could expand more, which is really, really exciting. So it means that any of you young graduates that are even doing maybe an arts degree, for example, there can be an opportunity for you to start your career with us at Westpac. I'd like to firstly hand over to Liam to chat us through a day in the life of what a banking specialist does, because I think it's a little bit different than what one might assume.
No, it definitely does kind of encompass quite a broad range of things that we do in the consumer bank and wealth part of Westpac. So we do deal with a lot of things day to day with personal trust, business and charity groups and stuff like that with all of their accounts and getting them onboarded and making sure that they're all compliant and stuff like that and following all the legislative requirements around those products. And yeah, it can be it's all completely different, whether it's personal or you're setting up charitable trusts and stuff like that. But also in part of the role as well, you're kind of dealing with some investment side, insurance and lending as well. So KiwiSaver is the investment kind of product that we deal with a lot day to day with a lot of our customers as well. And for those that haven't or opened them already, getting them onto that product and starting getting that investment set up for their first home or their retirement and things like that. We also deal with insurance as well. So we've got like fire and general, term life cover. Covering their term life cover, income protection, stuff like that. Having to know a lot of our products in depth and being able to go through all of our products in depth with our customers to, give them the bigger picture on what the product can help them with and stuff like that. And then also lending. So we've got multiple different lending products as well with overdrafts, credit cards, business lending and mortgages. So depending on your CAL levels as well. So for the different levels of lending, they fall under what we call a CAL progression level. And you start off at CAL 5. So that's one of our base lending levels, and that's doing in some kind of base level lending under credit cards, overdrafts, credit cards and overdrafts, personal loans as well. And then as you move through to CAL 4, it's kind of more the bigger lending towards those three products there as well. And then moving through to home lending, which is what we call CAL 3. So you've got home loan top-ups, warm-up loans, is it the new home start loans, restructuring, refinances, all sorts of bits and pieces like that, bridging loans, and then more specific going into those that have a lot more experience in the lending world itself as our CAL 2. So those then extend on to construction finance and that complex home lending there.
Could you walk us through like a day in the life of what a banking specialist does at Westpac?
It can vary every day, and especially since COVID has come through, it's definitely helped us kind of diversify the different channels that we're getting our customers contacting us on. So it's not just people walking in now and wanting that full face-to-face experience. We've got people applying online through our online channels and also our call center portals as well. So we do deal with all of those different avenues, and it does help to kind of, diversify your day and give you some different people and different customers that you're dealing with. So you're not always constantly just sitting there in front of people. You can be on the phone, and using those online portals as as well. So
Mm.
it can be very different, and you're not doing the same thing every day, and
Yeah.
you're constantly learning as well. I've only been in the bank for 9 months myself. I started my banking specialist training 6 months ago, and I've
Yeah.
just finished my CAL3 accreditation pending my checks, so then I can start doing some home lending there.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
lots different things that keep it very, very busy, that's for sure.
Definitely. And so obviously I work within the talent acquisition team. So what's been really awesome to see is the growth within the bank. So if you are someone who comes into the business as a banking specialist, or maybe a mortgage manager, or working on KiwiSaver, there are tons of opportunities to come in and work at head office, whether you go down a completely different path to what you originally signed on for. You could go into specific product management space, you could go into marketing, you could go into risk. Like, the opportunities are endless, and something that we are really striving for is promoting from within, which I really love, because it just gives everyone an opportunity to try something a bit new, which is cool. Yeah. So I guess a little bit more about the bank. I feel like everyone kind of knows who Westpac is, but from a large perspective, we touch the lives of over 1.3 million customers, which seems kind of crazy. And we have over 4,500 employees in New Zealand, and we support communities nationwide. So our whole goal is to really support our customers to become financially secure. So we have a lot of parts within the business where we can help our employees, whether that's through sustainability efforts. We're really, really passionate about that. We're also passionate about diversity and inclusion. So we've got a lot of exciting projects coming up in regards to that. And I guess for students, I have always been asked kind of what the best piece of advice I can give you is, I think it is really just to stay curious and to ask questions. Something that we really strive on is making things simpler and improving on existing work, but the only way that is done is by employees like us asking questions about, well, why are we doing this way? And it can allow for wider change to happen within the organization, which is awesome. If you are thinking of applying with us, I guess some things that can help you stand out is a really clear and concise CV. Because if you think about it, it's the first impression as us as talent acquisition people get of you. So it's great to see what you were doing at university. Maybe you were working in a cafe, or maybe you were nannying to support yourself. We'd love to see your personality and what you're interested in outside of work in uni too. Maybe you are a really great painter, or you make the best guacamole in town. Who knows? I think little things like that really do help you stand out from other candidates in the market, because there is quite a few, which is really, really good to see. I guess moving on, does anyone have any questions about Westpac or the specific banking specialist role which Liam is currently in? That's all good. I guess in terms of next steps, Sam, where do we go from here?
That's all good. Because I've got some questions.
Great.
So why don't I jump in? Because we had some questions coming through earlier from students and the like, which I think, let me actually add myself in here too. You can all see me. A couple of questions about office locations, for example, Bella. So can we clarify where opportunity is for students looking to work at Westpac?
Yes, we obviously have branches nationwide, but in terms of head office, we've got Auckland, we've got Wellington, and I believe we've got Christchurch as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. And I think you mentioned earlier a little bit about your application timelines, but could you just clarify that again for everyone? When applications open and closing?
So we're looking at opening them at end of April.
Fantastic. Yeah. And a couple of weeks, probably applications open for?
Oh yeah, normally anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks, I would say. Yeah.
Fantastic. A couple of other questions we had earlier. There's a lot of interest from the audience in internships and like as well. Is that something Westpac has available at the moment, or this year?
I don't think it is, widely available. That is a really interesting idea, and I'm definitely going to take it further. I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, there was lots of interest from students in having internships and jumping internships. So yeah, something to keep in mind.
Definitely.
Another in terms of candidates being eligible for the program, like citizenship, degree level, minimum study requirements. Can you give us a bit more context on that, Bella?
Yeah, I mean, given the state of the world right now, we can really only be looking at candidates that have the right to work in New Zealand. We're hoping that that's going to change with the immigration rules that I think been changing the last couple of months, which would be really, really awesome to see. And then in terms of, sorry, what was your initial question?
So yeah, so in terms of any requirements, so citizenship is one.
Oh,
so
right.
yeah, work
Yes.
rights is all you require. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. So if you have, it really doesn't matter on your specific degree. I think as long as you are tertiary qualified to be able to be eligible for this graduate program. Absolutely.
Fantastic. And is that just universities or students in polytechs as well?
Polytechs as well? Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. One of the questions I threw to the panel earlier, which I might throw to you, probably just a bit of a curveball, but why does Westpac hire students?
That's awesome. I think it's been something that we've kind of done as because a lot of other businesses were doing it for the last, more than 20 years. And I think there's been a definite, more of a push within the business about nurturing the talent that we have in New Zealand. So it's giving these students an opportunity and a chance to get their first step up into their career, whether it's a banking specialist role, whether it's a HR graduate program, so you can learn all of the different parts of what HR actually is, or finance, or whatever that looks like. I think it's really important to help the new generation along, because it's so hard to get that first opportunity, but once you've got it, the world just opens up. So to be able to help students along in that way is becoming a new push for us, which is really, really awesome to see.
Fantastic. A question for the both of you, actually. Maybe we'll start with Liam first, because
I'm jumping in too quick.
Yeah, no, which is great. But most important piece of advice you'd give to students aspiring to work, not just at Westpac, but in the banking sector more broadly. Liam, number one piece of advice?
Be accepting of change. The industry, especially recently, has seen a lot of changes come in, and then even more changes coming again very shortly with what's happened with the CCCF Act changes. Definitely being just open to learn, ready to take on new things, and just be wary that things will change, and you're going to have to definitely take on that information and change the way that you do things to work with the legislation, things like that, that constantly changing in the industry that we're working in.
Yeah. Bella, same question.
Yeah, I think it's being really flexible and being able to move quite quickly. So things do kind of drop at the a drop of a hat sometimes. So it's just being able to be flexible and moving to whatever needs to be done. And I find, with going into a new role, it's so exciting, and you're wanting to ask all of these questions. So it's just a really great opportunity if you're always willing to change and keen for the change as well.
Awesome. Liam, on your question about future changes you see coming in the sector, maybe again a bit of a curveball, but where do you see the financial sector and the banking sector going? Any big challenges you see in the years ahead, or big opportunities, maybe rather than challenges?
Oh, I don't know. The CCCFA Act was a pretty big change for the banking industry nationwide. So that was something pretty big that has changed the industry, and that they've all grown and adapted with now. And I think it's definitely the way that it was brought in was to help Kiwis and make sure that we're lending responsibly, and that we're making sure that our customers are being looked after, and what products that we're helping them with, and things like that. I myself don't see too many much bigger changes coming in from what's already happened, to be honest. And from what I've briefly kind of seen what's been going over with the slight loosening of those laws that came in regarding it. I wouldn't say that anything quite as drastic is probably coming in for us in the near future.
Similar question for you, Bella, but maybe not just about the banking sector. Do you see any big changes for Westpac on the horizon?
Oh gosh.
Big areas of importance for the future, maybe.
Look, I think we're going into a really exciting phase. We've just had our new CEO join us back in January, so that's really exciting and bringing all of her knowledge. So I think there's going to be some really exciting new initiatives, new programs coming out, and I think we're hiring rapidly at the moment across the board for all of these roles, across product, marketing, risk, legal. Finance, kind of everything under the sun. So we are growing, which is a really exciting time to join us. And once this new phase kind of starts off, I'm really excited to see what happens.
Fantastic. I've actually got a question from the chat, Ganishka, which was, firstly, sort of said, awesome work as a banking specialist, Liam. The question is Westpac looking for students in analyst positions at all?
I think I can answer that. Yes, I do believe we have some of those roles going at the moment. Yes.
Perfect. Another question, the most interesting, actually this one's, again, specific for, well, this one is for Liam, rather than just a compliment. Liam, most interesting thing about being a banking specialist?
Honestly, like no 2 days the same, really. Every day you're constantly doing something new, you're learning something new, and then those things that you have learned that you're consistently been working on and developing your skills and just getting better at, there's always something else that you're able to start focusing on, and you've got a fantastic team that's behind you as well that help you learn and you can fall back on and stuff like that. So it's just, yeah, every day is interesting, and especially, yeah, we're going through a lot of changes. And it's been great for me coming at the time that I did last year. I've seen a lot of changes, a lot of great changes, and especially with the banking specialist role and the focus that they've been putting on it to really develop and grow those roles to make sure that we've got the best people that are got to the, I guess, the best knowledge that we can give them to help our customers and help yourself grow your career.
Fantastic. Question for you, Bella. In terms of a student standing out in the application process, is there any big tips that you can give any of the way through the application for a student?
As I've been reading through quite a few applications recently, I've been really enjoying reading cover letters. I think sometimes we think that they are quite outdated, but I think especially when you're a graduate, it's a really good chance for you to illustrate who you are, what you're looking for, your interests, and what you can bring to the role. It is definitely a stepping stone for someone like myself to then start a conversation with you. We can kind of, we've already skipped ahead a couple of steps, and it's almost like we know each other.
On that, actually, is there anything they shouldn't do when they're either writing a cover letter or a CV or anything like that? Any big red flags for you?
Yes, if it's completely black and white, because if you can imagine the amount of CVs I see every day, having a pop of color or a pop of something does make you stand out. You think it doesn't, but it really does. And like having a CV that is longer than 3 pages is just, you do not need that amount of information. So I think really concise, sharp, injects a little bit of your personality in. I think it'll take it a long way.
And personalize the particular cover letter, I'm guessing, to Westpac, not
yes, instead of saying
to
yeah, or saying it to whom it may concern, or make it a little bit more curated, I'd say.
Actually, on that, in terms of if they're not quite sure who might be reading their application or their cover letter, what's your tips? Maybe just like to the Westpac graduate team or something like that, or?
Yeah, I mean, for us especially, it's the talent acquisition team that reads CVs, and I imagine like large organizations are quite similar in that regard. So you could say, to the Westpac TA team, to the Westpac graduate team, and making it just slightly a bit more curated to the actual role that you're applying for. We do notice those things. Yeah,
100%. So in terms of, let's say we've got some of our audience, they do land a job with Westpac. They're in their first year, they're in their graduate program. What tips would you give them to just like survive and thrive in their first year? And is there anything they shouldn't do? I'm not sure who wants to take that one first.
Well, Liam, do you want to start off with that initially?
Yeah, be prepared. Be prepared and just, open to, you're going to take on a lot of information. There's going to be a lot to learn, especially if you're completely new to the industry as well. And yeah, because I came from an industry that wasn't anything related to banking at all. So everything that I've learned has been from the beginning, and I've had to take on a lot of information, and there's lots to learn. There's still lots more to learn. It's just being ready, and just being able to, get yourself really throw yourself into it, and just be ready for everything that's coming for you, and use the support of your team members around you. There's a huge support network throughout the whole company that's not just in your branch, and managers, through the training cohorts as well. All the colleagues that you meet through them, they can all be from different levels, from the bank, from new to bank, to those that are just moving around and starting in a different position. So everyone's a huge wealth of knowledge. So use all of those people around you to, help yourself, get yourself in amongst it.
Absolutely. I think something that's really awesome about our culture at Westpac as well is we love to talk. So if you're like, no question is a stupid question. So definitely ask. If you're ever confused, just talk to the person next to you or ping your team member on Teams. Something that we are really good at is the collaboration piece, and everyone is happy to talk to each other, answer any questions, or they'll refer you on to the person that will be able to give you said answer. So yeah, I think that is staying curious. So asking that question, oh, well, why are we doing that? And then that can also evolve into a bigger question, which is something that we really love when new people join our business, is having that fresh perspective and asking that why. Well, why are we doing it this way? And it aligns with one of our goals, is to make everything simpler. Something not to do, I guess, is just to sit on anything like that. If you do have a question, please do ask. Like I said, no question is a silly question.
Probably another follow-up from maybe you both, but at least Bella. What do you think makes the grad program at Westpac unique and stand out?
Oh gosh, I think our people really make it. It sounds silly, but it is really our people within the businesses, because everyone wants to see everyone succeed and really wants to see everyone enjoying their job, and so they're asking, how can we help? So when you're going through the program, you're meeting so many different people across the business, you're learning so many different things, and people are really happy and are keen to take you on that journey. So if you were to come into one of our graduate programs, you'll find it's a very exciting time.
Fantastic. I think I'm just about out of questions, so I might just fire off one last one for you both. And it's just in one sentence, or maybe two, depending on how much you got to say. Why should students apply to Westpac? And Liam, do you want to go first?
Yeah, you're going to be joining a really close-knit family of people that are going to become just much more than colleagues. You'll really love just joining into Westpac and the way that we work, the people that we have, and especially coming in from fresh out of university or wherever you've come from. Like, we're just here ready for you to start and really get amongst it.
Bella, same question.
Well, our purpose really is to help New Zealanders succeed. So if you are passionate about people, we will love to take you on your own journey and help you build your career here at Westpac. So it all starts with that first application. So if you are keen to hear more about Westpac, I suggest once we open that up, to apply, and look forward to speaking with you all.